Hello traders, it's Samurai Trader here. What we have before us is a short trade that I'm in on the NQ55 tick. I've taken this as a 34 EMA bounce, so we'll see where this trade goes. My target is 14 ticks, which is just around about the pivot low we can see here. At the moment my stop is at the higher pivot, so let's actually adjust this and bring that down. It's also well above the open of the day, so let me just bring this down.
Strategy alert.
Here we go, got a few alerts going off. So what I've now got is a 10 tick stop, which is actually 1 tick above the open of the day. So the market's only been open around an hour right now, and we can see that on the ES 233 share bar, volume bar, which I like to trade this time of day, we also have a number of indications to go short. However, I've already missed that trade. Now I'm already providing this continues through. We're up to 500 on this. My target, you can see, is down here, is 14 ticks. Now quite possibly I may even get a pivot bounce. Now I'm willing to risk this, but generally it pays you to have your stop to what I call front run, I should say. Sorry, it's been a long trading night, traders, if I sound a bit raspy here. Here we go, we've just got 2 more ticks to go. The front run is to have your target right on or 1 tick above this pivot. So we need to tick down from where I am right now, another 3 ticks to hit this target. So we'll just hang on in here and wait for this to deliver. The ES has dropped nicely. It's dropped from the open and hit its closest pivot. So I might just put this on hold while we wait for this to deliver. Now this is a really good example to show you right now why we front run. So my stop, as I mentioned, 1 tick. So this got within 2 ticks of being filled. So it hit plus 12, which is 1 tick above my little pivot line here. So you can see how it's bounced up. Now I'm fairly confident it will come on back down. However, it does make you more comfortable to get out and to see you've banked your profit, even if it's 12 ticks rather than 14 ticks. So I would recommend that traders generally, particularly newer traders, take your profit and run. Front run these pivots. It might punch through, as it usually does, but it just gives you a lot more comfort to actually put some money in the bank, particularly when you've got as we've got here, just a 10 tick stop. So the risk reward is well on your side. So we'll come back to this. Just a couple other things just while I think of it. So this is the close of the US session. Now this is the 55 tick, which is generally not tradable. That is, it moves so quickly. But what we do have here is a very nice we had here a 55 tick bounce, and we had sorry, a 34 EMA bounce there. We had another one here. So if you had been able to get into those, and you had plenty of time, they were both very nice trades. However, generally speaking, I don't trade the last hour or so of the market, because it can be a pretty wild time. So the reason I entered this trade was my 34, you can see here that our 200s rolled over, our 89, our 34, the 8 EMAs rolled over. So we've got a lot of downward pressure at the moment. So if the trading gods be on my side, this trade will deliver for me. Now just looking at the higher chart on the ES, that is, when I say the higher chart, that's hovering around and dropping as well. And we've tested this little low once again, and of course I haven't been filled. Come on through for me. I'm in the process of typing up some more notes for my students, some what I call cheat sheets. So I want to get back to that, but I want this trade to deliver. No, it's going to bounce around for a while. I'll put this on hold, traders, and I'll put it back on when we start to see some action to the downside. And I'll tell you what, this had better go through. This had better deliver for me. Okay, hopefully we see a push through. What I'm actually watching, traders, is the ES. So we've just had a nice push through on the 233 ES. It's punching down, so we should see some follow through on the NQ. Never any promise, one more tick to go, but remember, even when it hits your target, as we've got one more tick to go, it doesn't always mean you're going to be filled. So what's really important for your back testing, always allow one extra tick. Did it tick through one tick more? In other words, if your back testing is you're looking and researching 14 ticks profit,
order filled. There
we go. So that filled very, very nicely. Could have you achieved 15 ticks? So as a quick recap, and there it goes through nicely, and the ES has ticked down nicely as well. This was what we call a 34 EMA bounce. Now we can see here we've really got a lot of chop or sideways action at this spot here, but I was watching the ES, and if you notice, my 89 was down, the 200, and I waited for the 8 EMA to roll over as well. So you can see here the 8 EMA is my blue line. It's gone up, rolled over, and it's now delivered. So that was $700 on 10 contracts, less $40 odd in brokerage. So it's a nice start to the trading day, and I'll put this back on hold, and I'll pull up a couple of other things I want to show you. So traders, I've just entered in a ES short trade on what we call a T2. So for my students, you can see my T2 down here. I'm already 2 ticks into the money. Now the low of the day is just here, so we need to punch through the low of the day by 3 ticks. So my target here is 875 or $87.50 per contract. I was going to go for a little higher than that, but I didn't want to be below this pivot here, because I actually have to go out in a moment. So I've got a stop of $625 or $62.50 per contract. So you can see I'm upwards towards the upper pivot, so I'm 2 ticks above this little swing high here, and my target down here is what is that? That's 7 ticks. So what we'll do is just put this on a hold. I want to cover a couple of other things with you, and what we'll do, we'll see where this trade goes, but we've got a fairly good downtrend, so fairly confident this will deliver. So once again, this is a T2. It's also a 34 EMA bounce. So we can see we've come over, we've bounced off a pivot, we've come up here, we've now bounced off both the 89 and the 34. So this should deliver, but it may be some time. The markets have been open for what's that, about an hour and 40 minutes. Fairly low volume today, and just for those that are interested, the market in the last nearly 2 hours is, on the ES has turned over 7,300 ES contracts and about 1,000 on the NQ. So still very low volume compared to normal market hours. So traders, all of these setups I cover and a whole lot more in the Day Traders Fast Track program. Now, as most of you are aware, and many of you have seen many of my videos, that I target now over $400 a day per contract. So what we just saw on that last trade was $65 after brokerage, thereabouts. Now what I wanted to show you was the true potential, because I believe that a poor man or woman is not a man or woman without a cent, but a man or woman without a dream. And you show me a trader that has created a compelling future, that is, they have a vision for the future, I will show you a trader that is going to succeed, because I will do whatever it takes. Because as we know, that trading is one of the most difficult careers there is Anyone can become a trader, anyone can do it. It's not about intelligence, it's about following the basic rules and of course discipline. Now most of you understand the risk, of course, and I'm required by law to show you this disclaimer. For new people watching this video for the first time, please or one of my videos, please read the risk disclaimer. And I just want to quickly cover this little chart I've got here just on the income potential. Now I'm not endorsing this plan, by the way, because your risk factor, depending on your stop, it ends up being between 3.3 and 6.6% per trade. But what I want to just quickly show you is the potential, particularly when you're using the market's money. So in this particular case, if you started off with $5,000 and you trade 2 contracts and you're making only $100 a day per contract, and you take half out, and if you did that over a 13-week period, that is earning only $100 a day and increasing the amount of contracts you trade as you're making money, and after taking half of the profits out on this hypothetical business plan, within 13 weeks you could be earning $10,000 a week. That is the potential. Now you are using the market's money because, as I mentioned, you are dramatically increasing your risk factor, and as you know, I highlight that you should never risk any more than 2%. But this is the true potential, and what you can do if you do have drawdowns, you lower the amount of contracts that you're trading. So this is feasible. You can do this. Now how do we get you there? Well, I love this statement. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. So what it comes down to is preparation, traders, is using the simulator, starting out not with all of my 12-13 strategies that I teach you, starting out with one. What is the one that's going to resonate with you the best? Well, I'd recommend, say, the T2 to begin with, then maybe the 34B, the 34 bounce, and the T1. They're all trend following strategies. They're rules based. Anyone can learn them, and by starting out with one, and that is putting at least 100 trades through the simulator on each of those flawlessly, this is how you master the art of trading. So I love this statement from Pogo. Now down here in Australia, I don't think the cartoon was so popular as it was in the USA, but I love the statement out of that, which I think is a famous statement. I've met the enemy, and the enemy is us. When it comes to trading, traders, we are our own worst enemy. Now a couple of reasons for that: fear and greed. We need to learn how to master those. Now, of course, in the Day Traders Fast Track program, I spend a lot of time working with you on that. But if you want to master the art of trading, there's no need to spend thousands of dollars to do it. Save your money. Use the money to perhaps buy a great charting package, maybe like NinjaTrader, or open up an account with TradeStation, use TradeStation. Get yourself a good charting package. Because for $197 you get the best of the best, the world's best day trading strategies that anyone can master. Anyone can learn this, and I give you 3 updates a week. That is, you get regular updates because I love it. I'm a better trader for it. You know, he who teaches learns twice. And you know, this is my passion, and my passion is when I get, and my excitement is created when I get an email from a student that says, hey, I'm making $300 or $400 a day now. I've turned my career around. That is what excites me. That's where I get passionate about this. And when I'm recording live trades, it makes me a better trader because you're over my shoulder watching what I do. Likewise, when I'm coaching traders, they're the first ones, as many of you heard me say, why did you do that? Why are you doing this? So traders, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, go to my website and invest in your future and purchase the program. Traders, just a recap on this ES trade. Things are moving very slowly. I've got to head out now. It's only 11 a.m. so I've brought my target up. Now this target, by the way, is also one tick below the low of the day, which is right at this point here, so it'd still be a respectable return. So I'm just waiting, and let me just readjust this stop. Need to adjust this stop, traders, just up here is so I'm just patiently waiting here for it to go down 2 more ticks. So I'll give it a few more minutes. So I'm already 3 ticks, 375 in the money on this. So I've got another 15 minutes before I've got to leave. And one of the rules I have, I never leave an open position, because time and time again you'll see, as you trade more often, particularly day trading, you'll go down and touch your target sometimes 2 or 3 times and not get totally filled. That's why I like to bring my target right down and lock the profits in and take what I can. So I just never leave open positions. I'm not a swing trader, I'm a scalper, I'm a day trader. So once again, you'll see if you go down, hit your target once or twice and not get filled, there could be a lot of orders in front of you, then that's when you might want to have an early exit. So just put this back on hold for a few minutes so you don't have to listen to me rave for the next 5, 10, 15 minutes. Hopefully we get delivered before then. Traders, I've still waiting for this ES trade to deliver, so I've pulled my target up to the low of the day, which is a couple of ticks down, as I'm still waiting to go out. An hour later it's still ticking over, plus I'm also short on the NQ, so I'm after 4 ticks net on the ES. And one of the big reasons I feel is that, look at this pivot. So you can see here we've been hovering around this pivot for hours now. So I've lifted it up, and I'll take what I can get, but I'm determined. I want at least 4 ticks out of this. And what we can see just here, and it's a little hard for you to see, I've shorted the NQ. I have a 14 tick target, which is well under this pivot that we've been hovering around for ages. I'm already 4 ticks into the money, but long way to go. But notice the area of support here, but look at the my trend line here to the downside. So I'm just hanging in there. So the low of the day is not too far away. It's down here, which is only 8 ticks, not the full 14 ticks that I'm after. But I think once we break this low of the day, we'll there'll be some real follow through. This is also, traders, for my students, this is a T2, and so you can see here this is a 34 bounce, and a T2. So if it wasn't for this wretched pivot, we would have well and truly punched through by now. So once again, it's been a successful day so far. We had this winner over here. I'm a couple of ticks into the ES trade, and I've got my NQ trade on, and here I am meant to be having lunch with someone, and I've just had to ring them and say, you'll just have to hold on. As mentioned earlier, I don't leave trades open when I go out. I've either got to close out, or lunch has got to wait a little longer. We're getting closer, come on. We can see sometimes trading can be a little bit like watching paint dry. So you can see here I've moved up. Now I expect once we break, generally what will happen is price action will move down to this lower pivot. It'll punch right through. So you can see here we've gone up, we've tested the 89, so it's a good quality trade, and so we'll just have to just hold on a little longer. Now the looking at the NQ trade here, our NQ trade has dropped. We're now at the low of the day, so we're now, what's that, 8 ticks in the money there. Because I've been in this queue so long, it'll probably hit my target. I'll get filled pretty much immediately on my profit target on this one. And what I will then do is probably take my profit on the NQ, which will slip over. Look at this, bouncing up again. Come on down. Come on, one more tick. It's a great feeling when you're about to go out for a nice lunch and you've had a great start to the trading day. But I don't want to curse myself either. I am slightly suspicious, I suppose. Don't spend it before it's in the money. And actually, we shouldn't even talk about the trading profits. One good trade after another. I'm going to put this on hold, otherwise you're going to listen to me just dribble for the next 10 minutes. I was going to put you on hold, but we keep ticking down, and I just want you to see this follow through. 10, 9, I'm just looking. Here we go. We've been filled on 3. So we're nearly there. Another 7 to go, traders. And just looking here.
Order filled.
There we go. Okay, so
order filled.
There we go. So traders, I got out that one that only short at 10, so that's still $400 less our brokerage. Okay, so it's still a good $360 trade there. So if we look at the recap there, we had then I can go, we had a nice 34 EMA bounce here. We had a T1 T2 and it was a bounce just here. Because we've been mucking around with this the low of the day for ages, I decided to get out at this very low of the day, because it's exactly what happened. But what I expect now to do, it'll probably punch through. Murphy's Law as traders are out. We've banked a profit, so that's 3 out of 3 over the last 3 hours. What are we up 1100, 11, so about 1450, 100. So per contract, it's about $145. I think we're up per contract. So on a $200 a day target, which is a really conservative target, I believe you're well and truly there. So traders, once again, this is all covered in the Day Traders Fast Track program. If you don't have a program, go get it. And for my students, hope there's some lessons here, and feel free to drop me an email.